Welcome to your community. This is your hometown. This is Walton Entertainment. This is where you can hear from the community and those making a difference. We explore topics, local festivals, arts and entertainment, and local news. For this program and much more, visit us online at yourlocalstream.com. That's yourlocalstream.com.
It is time. I would like to call up the 10th District ALR Commander Director, Robert Wilson. Robert Wilson, he's just like a brother. He supports all events. I don't care what's going on. You can call him. I don't care what time of night. He's ready to roll. Thank you, Robert.
All right, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Robert Wilson. I'm the 10th District Coordinator. Loganville, I've been blessed with Loganville as being one of my posts. And like Cordia said, we want to thank all the volunteers that came out today, the law enforcement, EMS, CMA, lawbike.com, Scotty, especially Scotty, Just for Fun Radio every morning. But I'd like to say the 4 pillars of the American Legion is the veterans, community, the children, and patriotism. And what they do here at Post 233 at this Ride for America is to support all of that. They support so much through this ride that it's awesome. But I just want to thank everybody that's here today. Please be safe. Keep your heads on a swivel. Keep your heads on a swivel and be careful. Ride your ride. They do not want anybody to exit the ride unless it's an emergency. If it's an emergency, tap out. But we love you all. This is what America is about. We've got, this is America right here. Woo! God, this is it. We love it. We love it. And thank you for everybody that came out today and is going to spend this special day with us. And I just got to say the outpouring that has shown, I mean, all I can say is this is America. Thank you.
All right, this time I want to introduce the co-founder of Ride for America, Stan Marvin. Ride for America is dear to his heart. He continues to put everything he has into ensuring that Ride for America is a success, so that we continue supporting our veterans and community. For the past 23 years, Stan and his family has dedicated Memorial Day as part of their family thing for Memorial Day. So that's their thing. So thank you, Stan. And Stan is definitely a person that I'm glad to have on our team. He's well known all around the world. He's got many contacts. And he's definitely one that you want to sign up. No further ado, Stan, thank you for all that you do.
Listen, y'all always believe everything the Word tells you. All around the world. Huh? All around the world. You know what? I get emotional. Right off the bat. Right off the bat, I'm getting emotional. And you know why? Why? Just look around. Look around. They called me over to the side a while ago and said, "Hey Stan, what are we going to do with all these motorcycles?"
Ride them.
I don't know. Find a place. Find a place. I've made all the decisions I know how to make. Find a place. If we have to put them up through here, that's fine. Y'all can settle on it, right? But I'm just so happy. We got a heck of a turnout. A heck of a turnout. I could use another word, but I'm not that ugly. Mentally. Good morning. Thank y'all for being here. And thank y'all for supporting the 23rd annual Ride for America. How many events do you know that's been going on 23 years? 23 years. First of all, I'd like to ask, why are you here? get a neighborhood, your neighborhood pool opening. Yeah, we could do something like that. Or we could go to the lake and have a lot of fun. Go to a family barbecue. Or even go to the biggie, a damn mattress sale. We could go to a mattress sale. Why not something like that? There's thousands of other places you guys could be. So I want to know, Scotty, do you have a roving mic that I can borrow? Do you have a roving mic? I just want to see a roving mic if you got one.
Hey everybody, I got y'all's attention. Let's hear it for Stan, keeping this alive all these years. Let's hear it for the Legion and all the hard-working people here today that's kept this going too.
Hey, listen, am I on good? You guys hear me? I got a question for some of you people. Can I ask you a question? Come here. I want to ask you a question. Yes, sir. He said, yes, sir. How you like that? How you like that, buddy? He said, sir. I want to know why you're here. Why are you here? Did Ray tell you to be here? That's what you're here?
No, sir. I came here because of the Memorial Weekend to remember all of our men and women that died for our country. Keep us free. I really want to support you, Stan, and what this mission does. This is great.
Absolutely. Thank you. Appreciate you. Give me, how about a pretty lady? How about a pretty lady or a young man? He can come up to it. Tell me something. You guys tell me why y'all are here. Y'all like that southern word, y'all? Yeah. Tell me why you're here.
I'm here to support all of the heroes that we have here and to just celebrate no more COVID and God bless the USA.
There you go. Thank you. You here because your mom and daddy told you to come? You here because you love America, right? Say that.
I'm here because I love America.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys. I appreciate what y'all doing here now. You notice how long it took me to get up that step, don't you? It took me a long time to get up that step. I'm sorry. First of all, just by being here, I know you are, but every day of the year, but just by being here, you're patriotic Americans. You're patriotic Americans. And America needs you more right now, today, than they've ever needed you. A lot of things, I don't want to get political, and I'm not going to. Go ahead. But we need to pray for our country. Amen. Really do. You know, we've been fearful too long. Fearful of the pandemic itself last year. Man, I'm 73 years old. I will be in a couple of months. 73. I've never seen anything that happened like that pandemic that has affected our country. You know, we're ready to get back at it. You're fearful of the pandemic itself. You're fearful of not being able to take care of our family members. You're in fear of not having the food, gas, or medications, or even toilet paper. Have you ever seen anything like that? Toilet paper? Toilet paper. We're in fear of having enough toilet paper. Listen, my fellow Americans, I'm ready to ride in turn. I'm ready to raise the funds that you guys have helped us raise just by being here again and help us support this nation. You know, you do a great thing. Already touched on a lot of the little things that we do, big things actually, that we do to help people out. But I tell you what, when we get back, you come up to me and you ask me, can I go with you to disperse some of the funds that you guys, look at the crowd, I mean, look at you. Come up to me and ask me, can I go with you to disperse some of those funds that we raise? I mean, my wife's over here going. I want you to witness what I witnessed. Witness the little girl and the mama at Christmas time that we dispersed some funds with. And I know that she needed it. Ask me how I know that she needed it. Because she was a veteran herself, and we watched and made sure that she needed the money that we helped her with at Christmas time. That's just one thing. Think about how good this guy feels. I feel great when I do something like that. And I want you guys to let me know when you can go with me to disperse some of these funds, because it hits you right here. Right here. It hits you right here. And then now you know why I'm so emotional. You understand it, don't you? You understand it. I tell you, by giving your day to Ride for America, you know, I have a few things written down about a man that's my buddy, Ray Martinez. My thoughts were, is this man doesn't even need an introduction around here because he knows everybody. But since he's my buddy, that means that I know him well, but you may not know him like I know him. First off, he's a 20-year U.S. Navy man with multiple deployments. Think about that a minute now, multiple deployments. He's a longtime member of American Legion. He has worked with our city since 2010. He was elected as mayor in 2017 by a landslide. He is a very patriotic American, and the reason I say that is in his last city council meeting, he honored World War II, Korean War veterans, and even some Vietnam veterans. Those people that didn't get much recognition when they first came along. He brought forward a wife of one of our local heroes, Mrs. Allen. Is Mrs. Allen here? She may be, she may not be, I don't know. But anyway, she lost her husband. Mom of Lieutenant Helvin, is she here? She may be here too, I don't know. If she is, we'll say hey to her when we come back. They paid the ultimate sacrifice, you know. And that's what we're here today to do, is to remember those people that paid the ultimate sacrifice. Ray, the mayor, I believe you call him by that. He's our mayor, you know. I again think of him as my buddy, so I call him by his first name. Every now and then I say Mr. Mayor to him, so Ray has two sons that serve in our country right now. I could go on and on, but you know, I need to shut up like my wife's trying to tell me. But ladies and gentlemen, I give you the mayor of Loganville, Mr. Ray Martinez. Ray?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Stan. I want you to do me a favor before I begin. I want you to turn around and look at that flag real quick. I was turning while all the great speakers were talking. I was just staring at that flag. What a beautiful sight on a beautiful Georgia morning. That red, white, and blue waving. And I wonder how much sacrifice, how much blood has been shed for that flag. It is just amazing. It is just amazing. But I want to, good morning, but I want to welcome everybody here to Loganville for, like Stan said, the 23rd annual Ride for America. That's right. I like to thank everybody that put this event together. Of course, the American Legion Post 233, our commander, the staff, and my good friend Stan Malden, the co-founder of this event. I also want to welcome the Rutledge Mayor, which we're going to ride down there to his great city, Mayor Bruce. Also his city council members here, Mr. Tony Sells. And I'm glad to see most of my city council members and their spouse, Jay Bolin, his beautiful wife, Wendy Bolin, Lisa Newberry, thanks for being here, Lisa. Of course, Bill Duvall, our council member, and our beautiful, great Vice Mayor, Linda Dodd, and her beautiful husband, Mr. Freddie, that also served, by the way. That's right. Skip Lyles, good to see you, and Jerry Golden. As mayor, it's been a great honor to attend every Memorial Day event held in this post since I've been mayor, including last year. We did, by the way, we did have a Memorial Day event last year during COVID. I reached out to Stan months before, and he said, Mayor, with all the chaos going on, with all the close downs going on, are we going to have a Memorial Day event? It didn't take me but a second to tell Mr. Steinmall that we are going to have a Memorial Day event. Whether we ride or not, we will have it. And we did have it. We did not let COVID take away from our fears and honor our veterans. So I want to be, it's my honor, that's right. It's my honor to be here today. It is our obligation for us veterans who came back to continue and remember and honor those men and women on these crosses right here, and those that are in foreign wars did not come back to our great country, including a few of our brothers and sisters here in Walton County. First Lieutenant Mr. Hilton, Major Davis, Master Sergeant Mark Allen, and Sergeant Robert Stokely. If you notice, some of their streets in Loganville are named after them. And we're proud to do that. Like Stan said, please play for my son, Jesse Martinez, that's currently a warrant officer flying helicopters and missions in the Middle East. So son, we love you and we got your back. Thank you so much for being here. Enjoy your ride. Be safe and God bless you. God bless this country. And God bless our state and our city. Thank you.
Our next guest is quite a background, so just allow me just a few short moments to introduce him. First, he's a Christian. He currently serves as the chairman of the board for Rutledge United Methodist Church. Secondly, he's a family man. He's been married to his wife Carol for 40 years. They have 2 sons, a daughter, and 6 grandchildren. He's an engineer. He retired from Healthcraft Refrigeration, a division of Lennox International, and is a senior engineer. He's a mayor. He was elected in Rutledge in 2017, but served previously on the city council before being elected as the mayor. He has a few goals as mayor, but one is to maintain that great city's historical heritage sections. And by the way, guys, we're going to ride through there today, so look at what you're going to see in that great city. We, as Americans and the organizers of Ride for America, do not assume anything. So I called him up and I said, Bruce, we want to come through your city this year. We're going to do a loop ride and we want to come through your city. And he said, let me run it by the city council. He didn't want to make that decision without running it by the city council. And one of the city council members standing right here with that Navy shirt on right here. So he's with us too today. But we didn't assume that we could just go through there. There's a lot of planning in this ride. You know, look at the rescue units right there. See those rescue units right there? Look at the cop cars up here. Look at all those blue lights. We're gonna be safe. If we're not safe, you know what happens? Anybody know what happened? Anybody want to tell me what happened so we're not safe? That's right. That's right. I think I heard somebody say you're going to get your butt locked up if we're not safe. You're right. You're right. I'm glad you shouted that out. I wasn't going to say it, but I'm glad y'all said it. He's a patriot. He's a big-time patriot, and we appreciate that about him, too. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, help me welcome, Mayor Bruce Oxnard. Bruce, tell these people about your city and tell them about how you feel on Memorial Day.
Thank you very much, Tim. As you're about to see, I'm not much of a public speaker. I apologize in advance. But I just want to tell you what an honor it is that you are letting motorcycles come through our town. We were talking earlier, we're going to have more motorcycle riders coming through our town than we have citizens. Right now, small town, small and special, and but one that we're very, very proud of. And I hope you is also able to see it. We have probably between 1,000 and 1,100 people in the town, and so anyway, we're honored that you guys asked us to join in. I've always been the person on the side of the road waving the flag, waving you guys on, and so now it's very, very humbling to see everybody here. I really didn't know how much it would take to put this on, and I'm really flabbergasted. But I am here. I was introduced Tony Sells is the city councilman. He is a Navy vet, served in Vietnam on a hospital ship. So I'm honored that he came along with me. It was one of those things where I said, "Tony, would you?" And he goes, "Yeah." and so I'm very honored that he's here. And again, thank you very so much. I'm with you again, man. I love America. And I'm going to go see both my parents at the National Cemetery today in Milledgeville. And really proud.
We're going to have a long ride through the country. It's going to be wonderful, but everybody needs to do their part and be safe, okay? When we pull out of here, it takes a little bit of time. Let's don't get that accordion effect where you feel like you got to speed up to catch up with the rest of them, okay? Just take it slow. We got a lot of law enforcement guys that are reserves. They came in today to try to make this the safest ride possible. So we appreciate y'all's cooperation to do everything possible and be aware. Be aware of your surroundings, be aware of everything, okay? We're going to try to get everything covered for you, but we need y'all's help. Anything I'm missing?
Nothing other than you're going to lock them up. You know,
that's it. That's right.
They act up.
That's it. We got enough handcuffs to go around, and we'll fill up that jail down there, okay? No, seriously though, we appreciate being a part of this. I had a bundle of nerves right before I came up here, but now I'm all right. Just looking at all you guys and gals out here, so this is awesome. I appreciate y'all. We're gonna have a safe ride today. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, one more thing real fast. Please, let's give a big round of applause to all the law enforcement agencies that helped us out today to make a safe ride. Thank y'all very much.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.
Double guard. Halt. Right face. Hold. Colors. Present arm. Ready, two. Left face. Forward march.
Let us pray. Oh God in heaven, we thank you today for this Memorial Day of 2021. When we still live in this great land, in this beautiful nation, free to all people. Opportunities as no nation in the history of the world has ever had. Lord, we know that freedom comes very hard and difficult. There are many who make sacrifices that are here today and that have survived across the decades and across the centuries of our nation. And yet, Lord, on this day, we pause to celebrate, pause to honor, pause to pray for the families who are still in grief of those who have lost their lives in defense of this nation. Lord, we ask you would bless them, you would honor them, you would receive them into their grace and into their arms. Lord, we thank you for all those who serve this great nation today in the United States and in every part of this world. May you protect them, may you guide them, may you give them the strength and the wisdom to do the will of this country, this grand nation. Lord, may we ask you to please bless this land beyond that which we deserve. And that you would keep her great, you would keep her free, and that the best years, decades, and centuries of these United States of America be yet to come. In your name, in your honor, and your glory, for the cause and the purpose of our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Amen and amen.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave? Oh, thus be it ever when brave men shall stand between their loved home and the war's desolation. Blessed with victory and peace, may this heaven rescue land praise the power that hath made and preserve us a nation. Then conquer we must when our cause it is just, and this be our motto: in God we I'll trust. And that star-spangled banner in triumph shall wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
You can be seated. Good morning and welcome. My name is Steve Brown and I work with the Historical Society of Walton County and the Monroe Museum. And on behalf of those two organizations, along with our other sponsors, VFW Post 4421 of Monroe and the American Legion Post 233 of Loganville and 64 of Monroe, I'd like to welcome you and thank you for being here, taking time out of your day for this recognition. At this time, we'll have a welcome from Walton County Chairman of the Board of Commissioners, David Thompson.
Thank you. I'd like to take this opportunity to welcome everyone here to the Veterans Memorial Park. I'd like to thank all those involved in creating this park for Walton County, all the different veterans and their families that have bricks here, the Board of Commissioners that backed it, and the previous chairman, Kevin Little, who sponsored doing this. Memorial Day was created in the 1880s by Congress, and we've been celebrating and honoring those that gave their life to their country ever since. In the year 2000, Congress passed a moment of silence, 3 o'clock today, across the country. All of us have our little cell phones with clocks and alarms. If you set your alarm at 2:58, no matter where you're at, when it goes off, get the ones around you, and at 3 o'clock, give 1 minute of silence to those that gave their life for us to be here and celebrate this. Again, welcome to all of you, and I'm honored to be here. Thank you.
I'd like to introduce our speaker today, Al Stevens, to you. I'm sure some of you know Al. He was born and raised in Atlanta, graduated from Georgia State University, and spent his professional career financing the sale of trucks. He's retired after 28 years and has been married to his lovely wife, Diana, for 50 years. Past February. In 2006, they were smart enough to move to Monroe and have never looked back, and we're glad of that. Al is presently the president of the Historical Society of Walton County. He also volunteers at Oakland Cemetery in Atlanta and has done several tours of Rest Haven Cemetery and the Old Baptist Cemetery here in town, and we have some more of those coming up in the not too distant future. During the Vietnam conflict, Al served in Pleiku in the Highlands with the United States Army. So at this time, I'd like for you to welcome Al Stevens.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I'd like to thank y'all all so much for coming today, and I'd like to thank the Historical Society of Walton County for asking me to speak today. Memorial Day originally was called Decoration Day, and it started from right after the Civil War, when people will go out and decorate the graves of those who had died in the war. A number of different people took credit for starting Memorial Day, a couple of them even from here in Georgia. Some of y'all may have heard of General Logan, who was a Union Army officer. He took credit for starting it also in 1868, but it became pretty much a nationwide observation memory of those who had died in the war. As I go through this, I'm going to talk, probably focus more on Vietnam because that was my war, and just looking out at a lot of y'all, I see it was y'all's war as well. I had read somewhere that a veteran is somebody that at one point in their life wrote a blank check to the United States of America for any amount up to and including their life. And I think that makes a lot of sense, and that's true. And those of y'all who have been in the service, I think when you first went in, that was something probably on your mind. I know it was on mine. I guess when I first went in the military, I joined when I was 19 years old, and that was probably about around the same age that most of you did too. But as the years have passed and life has gone on, I've realized that I wasn't the grown-up man that I thought I was. I was just a kid, and I think most of us can look back and think the same thing. That's really who's protecting us today, are those young people that felt the need to go into the military, to be patriotic and to protect our country. When I was in the Army, my experience was that most of the people that I dealt with were between the ages of about 18 and 23 years old, and that really included my time in Vietnam as well. And a lot of people had to grow up really fast when they were in Vietnam. I had a friend in high school. His name was Henry Ballou, and he enlisted in the Marine Corps. And he ended up going to Vietnam, and 1 week before Henry was scheduled to come home, he was killed in action. He won the Silver Star and the Purple Heart for the action that day. He was 18 years old. And that's something that I've never forgotten. And we had a high school reunion a couple of years ago, and people still remembered Henry and talked about what he was like and how, his smile and how he was a football player and all that. And he was a patriot, and he gave everything for us. And that's true of all of them that have died for us. Now, when I was kind of preparing this, one thing that came to my mind is, why do people join the service? Well, up until the Vietnam War ended, one reason they went into the service was because we had a draft, and they didn't really have much of a choice. But I read some things talking about this, and 2/3 of the people that served in Vietnam were volunteers. And I never really saw any difference between the volunteers and the draftees. I think all of them that I knew were very motivated people. They knew what they had to do, and they did it. All members of the military now are volunteers. So when you see these young people that have put on the uniform to protect us, they're doing it because they felt a need. I guess there's a different reason. You could come up with a different reason for everybody in the military, but one thing that I think all of them have in common is they're patriotic and they want to protect their country. I wanted to talk a little bit about something that happened while I was overseas. And when I tell you the ages of people that were involved in it, this kind of brings back the youth of these people that were in Vietnam. We had a helicopter unit, and there was one helicopter that we called a Slick. And what most of the guys in the Army would know what it is. It was a helicopter set up to transport personnel. There were 4 people that were on the crew of this type of helicopter. They had a pilot and a co-pilot and a crew chief and a door gunner. And this helicopter had gone up north of Pleiku because there had been a crash that day, and there was 1 survivor, and there were 3 other wounded soldiers that they were going to try to bring back. Well, this particular area there was a high concentration of North Vietnamese soldiers. They couldn't get in to get them because of that and because of the darkness, so they were going to have to go back the next morning. Now, the people that were on that helicopter crew, the pilot was a major. His name was William Adams, and he was 31 years old. He was the old man of the group. His co-pilot was a captain. His name was John Curran, and John was 25 years old. The crew chief was a specialist for Melvin Robinson. He was 20 years old. And the door gunner was my friend, specialist for Dennis Duran. He was the door gunner, and he was 20 years old. And Dennis didn't really have to go that day. He had guard duty the night before, so he was excused from going out on this mission. They already had somebody else to take his place, but when the time came, Dennis got his machine guns and went out to the flight line and joined his group. They headed north. It was up around Khartoum that this happened. It was a real clear day, and they were going in to get these men, and like I say, high concentration of NVA soldiers. And before they went in, William Adams, the pilot, asked each of them individually if they were willing to go in and try to get these men out. Each one of them said yes, they were. They went in, and when they went in on that clear day, the NVA opened up on them, and it was heavy gunfire. Well, Major Adams was able to get that helicopter in and landed, and they loaded these men on that they were going to try to get out. Adams lifted the helicopter off, still keeping calm, and keeping in control, and the gunfire increased, and it got to a point to where something was hit to where he couldn't control the helicopter anymore. It inverted, and it exploded and crashed into the jungle. And all 4 of these men were killed in action that day, including the people that they were bringing out. Now, I tell you about this because I wanted to remember them, and I wanted to remember how young they were and what they did for our country. Major Adams was awarded the Medal of Honor for his action that day, and the other 3 were awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, which is the second highest medal behind the Medal of Honor. If y'all happen to see the Walton Tribune this weekend, there was a lot of really good, interesting information that was on that concerning Memorial Day and concerning those who have lost their lives in different wars. And if y'all don't mind, I'm just going to kind of run through these. They had World War I had just over 53,000 Americans that died when we were involved in the war, with 23 from Walton County. World War II, we lost about 292,000, with 51 from Walton County. Korea, about 37,000, with 5 from Walton County. Vietnam, 58,000, with 6 from Walton County. In the War on Terror, we've lost about 8,900, with 4 from Walton County. Now, during the Vietnam War, the highest ranking of those 6 that were lost was a man by the name of First Lieutenant Dennis Coker, and some of y'all probably knew Dennis. He grew up here in Monroe, He graduated from Monroe High School in 1963, and he was really involved in extracurricular activities at the high school. He played football, number 74 for the Hurricanes. He ran track, and he was in some other extracurricular clubs as well. When he graduated, he went to Georgia Tech and enrolled in the Army ROTC program there. When he graduated from Georgia Tech, he was commissioned in the U.S. Army as a second lieutenant in the infantry. He went into flight training and served in southeast Georgia and also in Texas. And in late 1968, he was sent to Vietnam. Now, he was a helicopter pilot there. And in addition to his other awards, he won, I think it was about 20 air medals. Now, you would get an air medal for, I think, every 25 hours you flew. So that would give you some idea of how much time that Dennis had in the air. In March of 1969, he was killed in action, ironically not flying. He was killed in action in a rocket attack at his base west of Saigon. He was in the 1st Aviation Brigade. Dennis was 23 years old when he gave his life for our country. He's buried over in Rest Haven Cemetery. So we have, Steve mentioned something about tours. We have tours over there from time to time, and we always remember him. Is one of the really important people that are buried there. I wanted to tell you also about somebody that was really the most patriotic person that I think I ever knew, and he was my best friend in high school. His name was Terry Greer, and Terry's wife Barb is here somewhere today. There she is, right there. Terry and I hung out together a lot during high school, and when he was 17, he decided he wanted to join the Army. And his mom didn't want him to join. He told her he had to have her sign for him. He told her that if she didn't sign for him, that he would just wait till he was 18 and he'd go ahead and join. So Ms. Greer went ahead and signed her approval for him to do that, and in the Army Terry went at age 17. Now, he was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, and when he was 18 years old, he deployed to Vietnam with the 5th Infantry Division. He was 18 years old, and he was a tank crewman, and he ended up being the tank driver. When he came home, I actually met him at the airport and gave him a ride home. Now, Terry had seen a lot of action in Vietnam. He probably saw as much action as anybody that had ever been over there. And I noticed something of a change in him after he came home. For one thing, he had certainly matured a lot, but there was just something about him. I think they might call it PTSD today, but he came back home and he was still my best friend. I remember him telling me one time that when it came time for his brother to go into service, he just might go back to Vietnam and stay there so his brother wouldn't have to go. And he did serve a second tour. He did 2 tours in Vietnam. I'm not sure why that was the reason why he did it, but he served 2 tours in Vietnam. When he retired from the Army, he was a staff sergeant, and he was the greatest patriot that I ever knew. Now, I kind of lost touch with him over the years, and a few years back, I gave a tour of Rest Haven Cemetery, and when the tour was over, Terry and his wife Barb came up and introduced themselves to me again, and got to be, hang out with my friend Terry again for a few years. Sadly enough, he passed away a couple of years ago, but I'm just thankful that I was able to spend some time with him as, again, my best friend before he passed on. all of us here in Walton County, and I guess especially those in Monroe, have a special connection to honoring veterans who have died in the service. If you get on Highway 78 and go from here to Athens, you'll notice it's the Moena Michaels Highway. Moena Michaels was born in New Hope, Georgia, or in Good Hope, Georgia, in 1869 on her father's cotton plantation. When he sold that, they moved here to Monroe, and she served as a teacher to help support the family. Now, she ended up at the University of Georgia, but when the United States got involved in the First World War, she took a leave of absence and went to New York to serve with the YMCA Overseas Volunteer Program. Now, she at the time was a little too old to go overseas, but she stayed there and served there while America was involved in the war. Now, one day she read a poem. It was Lieutenant Colonel John McCrae's poem that he wrote, I think, in about 1915. It was called In Flanders Field. And as she read that, it really got a hold of her, especially the second half of it, when she read about to you from failing hands we throw the torch, be yours to hold it high. And she knew that that was something that she wanted to honor. So she decided to start getting some silk red poppies. A lot of us are wearing them today. And she would start passing those out to remember those who had served and died in World War I. But when she got back to the United States, she went on to become a teacher again at the University of Georgia. And she taught a class once that had a number of disabled veterans who had served in World War I. And she realized then that she should do something to try to help them. So she began selling these poppies. And at the time of her death in 1944, she had sold enough poppies to raise more than $200 million. Now, this was helped by the American Legion Auxiliary, who really focused on doing this. In 2016, nearly 3.5 million poppies were sold to raise about $2.1 million. So Ms. Michael really took the memorials to heart, and that's our connection, really our connection here in Walton County to that. And this includes the examples that I've mentioned today of those who died in the war. As we observe Memorial Day today, we should always remember the heroic men and women who sacrificed their lives for our country and freedom. One thing in closing, I'd like to mention that my mother told me one time. When I was 12 years old, my grandfather passed away, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced somebody close to me passing away. And I was 12 years old, and of course I was pretty broken up. And I remember my mother told me, she said, you know, as long as you remember him, he's not really gone. And you know, she was right about that. And I think that's true of all of these who have given their lives to protect us, to protect our freedom. So as we go today, as we remember those, pull out the Walton Tribune and look at those names and remember those names, because as long as we remember them, they're not really gone. I'd like to thank y'all again for being here, and thank the Historical Society so much for letting me speak today. Thanks very much.
Monroe Country Day School's mission is to inspire every student to have a passion for academic and personal excellence through creative learning, independent thinking, and selfless service to others. Students are exposed to the local community and provided opportunities for independent thinking.
What will you do with all the dirt?
Some of the dirt you see has been hauled over here because they're going to have to build the finished floor, the elevation of the building, so that it's got to have the right kind of soil that will compact and tighten up for the footings of the building.
Monroe Country Day School values the whole child. Therefore, we believe in a holistic and integrated approach that involves the development of the student academically, personally, and socially. Monroe Country Day School believes that creative learning produces independent thinking and fosters a love of learning. Excellence is applied to all that we do. We strive to foster students that are pursuing strong academic and personal excellence. Project-based education is integrated into our curriculum.
When we go back in the classroom, we need the combined weight of you guys because we've got to figure our bridge, our mass bridge weight ratio, okay? You got to figure out how much weight it was that finally broke your bridge, okay?
We need a scale for that.
And then on Monday, we're going to redesign. We figured out where some of our flaws are. We're going to spend another week redesigning, all right?
Monroe Country Day School offers personalized education that begins with the personal knowledge of each student academically and each student's personal story. We believe that taking personal responsibilities for one's academic and personal choices produces strong, independent, capable, and confident citizens. Students are taught responsibility for self, peers, and community. Through service to one's peers and community, an equipped leader finds personal growth and fulfillment. We facilitate this leadership through providing experiences of service. Respect is the basis for good dialogue, independent thinking, and mutual enjoyment of life lived in community. Monroe Country Day School is designed for families who see the value of educating the whole child. Monroe Country Day School will reach its mission by maintaining small class sizes, offering project-based learning and a high-level curriculum, and by providing service opportunities in an aesthetically pleasing environment. Monroe Country Day School has positioned itself to produce a community of young people who are strong in mind and character and living as contributing members in their community. For more information, please contact Mandy Wellington, Admissions Director, at 770-267-8955.
Creative artists can offer you a wide range of video production. Call the experts and discuss your project today, whether it's your special event or your company. Creative Artist, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist produces this program you're watching. Call Creative Artist today, 770-267-7368. Creative Artist, they'll put you in the spotlight.